over B, guys. B, we're going to start with the door. We want to make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or loose. It's properly mounted and secured. There's no intrusions, so I can't put anything through it. You want to check your latch. You want to make sure you can open it and close it and stay secure. When you open your truck, you're going to see this rubber gasket all around it. You want to make sure there's no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Because this is what stops all the water from coming in. So you want to make sure there's no leaks. Right here, there's a hinge for your door. You want to make sure it's not cracked, damaged, or loose. It is properly mounted and secured to the vehicle. Okay? Once you close your door, you want to check your mirrors. You want to make sure they're not broken. They're not cracked. They're not damaged, loose in any way. They're adjusted to your view of driving. And then your brackets, not cracked, damaged, or loose, properly mounted, secured to your truck to make sure it's tight. Okay? Then we're going to go to the gas cap. Very important. You do not have to do this the day of the test, but I do it because I want you guys to see it. There's a safety chain. The reason there's a safety chain is if you fill up, you're in a hurry, and God forbid you take off. If this thing was to fly off and you're doing 50, this is going to go through a windshield. That's how heavy this is. So the safety chain keeps it attached. So you make sure the safety chain is properly mounted and secured. It's not going anywhere. Inside here, you also have a rubber seal. You make sure there's no abrasions, bumps, or cuts. Okay? I'm only showing you this because I want you to know it for the day of the test, because you have to explain that. You don't have to take it out. You say, my safety chain is attached. It's not cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted, secured. My rubber seal on the inside, sir, has no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and it's properly mounted and secured. Right here is your straps and your mounts. Your straps are made of metal, so they sit on a rubber mount. The reason they sit on a rubber mount is if you have metal to metal and it starts to friction with every bump, it can cause a spark. You have gas or diesel. This can be dangerous. So you want to make sure your straps are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're properly mounted and secured. And your mounts have no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, and they are properly mounted and secured. You make sure there's no leaks coming around on your gas cap, tank, and straps. That's done. Then you go to your steps. You want your steps to be properly mounted and secured. You do not want them to be cracked, damaged, or loose. Right here is your marker light. Don't just call it a light. It is a marker light. It is amber in color. Okay? It is not cracked, damaged, or loose, and it works properly when it is properly mounted and secured. Over here, you have your catwalk and your stairs. They are not cracked, damaged, or loose. They are properly mounted and secured to the vehicle. Here is your frame and your frame rail. Not cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted, secured. No illegal welds in your frame. Very important that you look for any type of welding on your frame because that could be dangerous. Okay? Over here, you have all of your exhaust from your muffler, your exhaust, and your tailpipe. Okay? These are your straps that hold your tailpipe in place. They cannot be cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted and secured. This is the straps to secure your exhaust to your muffler, not cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted and secured. You want to make sure there's no leaks anywhere, because if there's leaks, they could go into your cab, make you very dizzy, it can make you sick. Right here, guys, very important that you know where it's at. Your drive shaft, right here, and right here is your U-joint. Okay, that's very important. It's not cracked, damaged, loose. It is properly mounted and secured. Right here is your brake chamber, your hose, and your brake line. Just like in the front, it's the same thing. You have your brake chamber, your brake plate, you have your slack adjuster, you have your push rod, you have your drums, linings, and pads. It's all the same. Right here, you will see you have your shock and your shock mount. They're not cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted and secured. Here's your U-bolts right there. It is right there. That's your U-bolts. And right here is your leaf springs. Your leaf springs are right there. They're not cracked, damaged, or loose, properly mounted and secured. And here, right here, is your leaf spring hangers. They're not cracked, damaged, or loose. They're properly mounted and secured. And then right back here, it's very important that you guys know, because there's two drive shafts in B. There's your front and your rear drive shaft is right here. See your U-joint and then your drive shaft. That is your rear drive shaft. You want to check it. You want to make sure it's properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, or loose. This is your air mount, and this is your air bag. Your air mount, very important, not cracked, damaged, or loose, properly mounted and secured to the vehicle. Okay. Your airbags, no abrasions, bumps, or cuts, properly mounted and secured to the vehicle. No leaks. Very important that you check that. Okay. Again, you have spring leaves here as well. You had in the front, with your spring leaf hangers. Okay. Back here you have another airbag. You have another shock and another shock mount. You need double for each tire for that cushion. This is your mud flap. Not cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted and secured. No abrasions, bumps, or cuts. You have enough distance from the tire and the floor. This is your splash guard. Not cracked, damaged, loose, properly mounted and secured. Enough distance from here to the floor and enough space from here to the tire. This is your DOT reflective tape. It is clean and proper color. And then here are your lights, your tail lights, your turn signals, your brake lights, and your four-way hazards. And this is your reverse light. They cannot be cracked, damaged, or loose. They need properly mounted and secured into the truck. Like I said earlier, you have another airbag back here. And then that pretty much concludes B. Like I said,